Most people think you need years of experience to build hardware with AI, but you don't. 2 shortcuts and you'll be moving today. This is SmokeTest. Let's get into it. The first shortcut is that before you build anything, you need one very specific thing. This naturally happens in a corporate environment. It naturally happens in a friend group, people that you hang out with. But if you're looking to build hardware with AI, you need a thought partner. My recommendation is that you choose a single company, whether it's ChatGPT or Claude or Grok or Gemini, or it could be Perplexity even. Choose one that you're really comfortable using. If you're not comfortable with anyone, just choose one and you can learn over time. But here's what naturally happens. Good ideas hardly ever start out as really good ideas. They just don't. They start out as questions. They start out as problems. And along the way, what you find is that a product exists in there somewhere, or a hardware project exists in there somewhere. But in order to discover that, you need some back and forth to test even the premise of your idea itself. You need a thought partner that you can go to and say, hey, I've got this kind of wild idea. Not what do you think, but help me round this out, because I can't think of everything. I'm not an expert in every facet of hardware, maybe if you're trying to do AI and hardware for the first time. And so you really need that thought partner to work through an idea. Most people skip this step. They go straight to building. They try to have like this novel idea. Most things have been done many, many times in many different ways. And what you need is a way to test the theory of your idea itself. If you're going to build anything, you need to work through this process of testing out the plausibility of your idea itself. And what you'll find is that the more time you spend on the idea portion, the cleaner the outcome becomes, the cleaner the project becomes, the more clear the hardware gets, because you know exactly what you need. You've defined it. You've thought through it. You know your options. I like Grok for that. And I like it because it is the only model that is 100% always connected to a social channel. And so you have companies who are giving product releases. All of the news cycle happens very quickly inside of X. And so for that reason, because everything happens there fast and people are posting about, new things they're building and what they're working on, unlike other places, it may show up 2, 3, 4, 5, even maybe a week or two later. You have a very tight timeline on who's releasing what and what it involves. Because Grok is tied to a social media account, you get a lot of that native information that happens really, really quickly. Now, I'm not saying that these other models have no access to it. It's not true. They have access to the internet. But the timeline on that is really, really fast on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. And so I like using Grok as a thought partner. And so that's where I work through the majority of my projects. That can come from a lot of different directions. Again, it can come from questions. It can come from a post anywhere on social media. Like, I just feed it the link and I say, what is this? And then what will come out of that is, I should build this thing to solve this problem that I have because it's kind of similar. Most of the time, you have to work through that idea to get to a reasonable place, a good place, a place that works and is buildable. The second shortcut is that you're going to have a tendency, if you're getting into AI and hardware for the first time, either one or both, you're going to have a tendency to treat it like an employee. You may have heard talk about agents and loops, and so you think, oh, I have an assistant now. Let me just dump all my busy work onto this thing and treat it like an employee. But let me caution you and also save you a lot of time. Don't do that. People naturally pick up on a lot of context over the years. And so when you hire an employee and you onboard them, you're giving them tons of information all along the way. You tell them about yourself, you go have dinner. There's a ton of time that you actually spend developing that relationship that none of these AI models have. They don't know you. They don't know the situation. They don't know what you're trying to do. They don't know your goals. There's a lot of things that they don't know. And so if you ask an AI model, I want you to go build this thing, just give me all the stuff, it will never be sufficient, ever. So rather than just tell it what to do, ask specific questions that you don't understand about your own idea. If you have the framework of an idea, great, dump it in there. Describe what that idea is, what you're actually trying to accomplish, and then start asking it questions. What will naturally happen is you'll build out the framework of a project, and over time, rather than a really quick wand that just spits out instantly what you thought, you work through it. You take off the rough edges. It's the time in the process that you work through that idea that's really the valuable part of any project or any hardware build. Describing the fact that maybe you need wireless or you don't need wireless, or you need batteries or you don't need batteries, or the build is going to live outside or inside, or it's exposed to light or not. There's a lot of these things that if you tell any AI model, hey, go build this thing, it lacks all of those nuances around the project because you haven't described it and it's starting from nothing. And so it will never deliver what you want the first time. There's an iteration process. There's a tendency to treat it like an employee, but don't do that. Rather than tell it what to do, ask very specific questions. So those are two shortcuts. You need a thought partner. Choose a model. It really doesn't matter which one it is. Just go choose one and start using it. Most of them have free versions. And the more you get comfortable with it, or you find more uses for it, and then you find the boundaries on kind of how you like to ask it questions, and it gains this context about you, then you can take that and build out that idea and ask it more questions and build it around a singular thing rather than just one shot and everything and telling it to go do a thing. It would be equivalent to dropping a product idea on a complete stranger and hoping that you chose the right person out of 8 billion people. Like, it's never gonna happen. So you need a thought partner, you need to work through that idea, but don't treat it like an employee. Treat it like an information resource that has access to information that you didn't know or don't have, and ask it questions about your idea because it can pick that context up along the way, and then you can make decisions. Those are the two shortcuts. Hey, if you're new to AI or hardware or both, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. This is SmokeTest. My name's Brandon. We'll see y'all next time.